I'm Astrid, I am Watle and Wool, and welcome to currently my backyard, but to my internet channel where I talk about my knits, my makes, and my creative takes. That rhymed, but it wasn't meant to. Anyway, I am here. Hello. Sorry, my brain is turning on. First of all, before I get into anything, I would like to pay my respects and acknowledgements to the Indigenous people on the land on which I stand, the Whadjuk Noongar people, and pay my respects to their elders past, present, and emerging. So, it is windy, so if I start rocking and my hair gets in my lip gloss, I'm so sorry, but it's an overcast day, and honestly, it's like it's just lovely. It's very nice. It's very green. So I am enjoying being out here. We'll see how long this lasts. So let's get into it. I have a few things to show you, as always. And then, yeah, I have a lot. So first, I have some finished objects. Now, you would have seen these on my Instagram. I am at wattleand.wool. But I was posting up a couple of cute little pictures and little reels because that was so much fun. So my first sweater is the spirally sweater. This, I actually have no idea which side is the front. I really need to sew in a tag. So at the moment it's both ways and it just works. But I think, so they've got this way and he's got, yeah, so it's the same thing. It's fine. It doesn't matter. This is the Spirally Sweater by Pickles Co, I believe. This was gifted to me by my beautiful friend Hannah. So Hannah, I've spoken about her before. I adore her. She is the reason I began becoming a knitwear designer. I had designed my first ever jumper called the Alsaclis, and I had posted it up and she was like, I want to test knit it for you. And I was like, what's that? She's like, it's when people knit it to see if it works for like patterns. And I was like, what's that? So she explained it to me and I was like, oh my God, yes. Like, wow. And so she became my first ever like knitting fan. The first person who ever believed in me. And she is so integral to my growth and she's just such a beautiful person. So we'd done a couple of yarn swaps over the years and she had bought this beautiful purple yarn. So I have one skein left. This is this one here. It is the Pickles Silk Merino, 100% merino from Peru. This is all in Norwegian, so this is the best I got. And it is single ply and it's so thick and delightful. So this is... yes, I love it. She sent over all of these and a bag and the pattern and just said, I bought it thinking I would love it and I don't, and I think it would suit you better. And honestly, I was like, purple though. Like, purple. I'm not a big fan of purple. And don't get me wrong, I love the gift, but I was a bit like, okay, like maybe blue or pink or green, but purple. So I made it over a couple of different life events. So I've actually found, I will try and put the pictures up. I found a picture of when I cast this on, and this was cast on one of my good friend's wedding days. So I went to a wedding and I wound the yarn that morning. And so I took all these cute photos of me in my dress that I wore to a wedding. And so this was the first wound, that's how you speak English. The first wound ball or cake of yarn and the first cast on of 2021. And that year I also started dating my then boyfriend and that was a wonderful time. So I was working on this while we were together. And then really sadly his dad got very sick and I started knitting on this in the hospital because it was something easy that I didn't have to think about. It was just instinctive. And then his dad passed away and Alec and I broke up and it was a bit of a sad moment. So I put this aside and I was like, you know what? This isn't in timeout, but my memories of knitting this have to be in timeout for just a little bit. And so I put it aside. And then I am currently studying my master's. I'm studying teaching English as a second language. For those of you who don't know, I am a high school teacher in my day-to-day life. So I talk a lot about my beautiful, slightly psycho children. And yeah, so I'm studying as well. Don't actually recommend working full-time and studying part-time. It hurts. But as I was working and studying, I started needing something to just knit on, and just something that was, again, basic stockinette, essentially, that I could just do. So I had done, hello wind, I had done quite a bit of this, and I'd actually done more than I needed to, so I ripped it back, and then I cast on the sleeves. I've spoken before about my mods, but basically I added another repeat to the sleeves because they looked like they were going to end very short, and I didn't like that. And then I pieced it all together. This is my first ever top-down sweater. Sorry, bottom-up, I should say. Bottom-up sweater. And I pieced it all together, kept on knitting it, and then finished it off. I used every skrellick of yarn left, and I finished this. This neck, I don't know if I'm going to go back and add to it. So, as I said, this is a single ply, which means I did the Italian sewn bind off, and I don't want to have to undo it because that was effort. And yeah, I really don't want to have to undo that because it looks perfect. Been worn, but it looks perfect. And yeah, I don't want to have to undo it and then add more and then redo it. However, I'll put up some pictures of me wearing it. I had thought that I was going to make the neck really thick and squishy. And before I blocked it, it totally was. But then I blocked it. And also, I don't do gauge swatches. I'm very bad at this. This will come up later. So I had to block it, and it grew, as it will. I'm actually okay with it growing, and it is now this delightful, thick, like squishy, oversized, just delight. And it is so made for a cup of hot chocolate and a book in bed on a winter's evening in Australia. So, you know, it's a very calm winter, but it is beautiful. The only thing is, I do feel like now the neck is not as squishy as I would have liked. So I'm wondering if I go back in and add more. I don't know. I will hopefully have put up pictures so you will see. But every time I wear this, so I wore this for the first day to school for Wear It Purple Day. That was on the 26th of August. And just, I don't think I've ever actually fully come out online, but I am not straight. I don't really know what I am, but I know I'm not that. So I just say queer because it's so much easier. I have predominantly dated boys, and I do definitely want to have children, but I don't believe that you need a man to have children, and I am more concerned about the person inside than the person on the outside. So that is where I'm at. I don't have a label for it. That's just who I am. And so I am very passionate about inclusivity and representation. Now, I know I am a little white blonde girl. Well, not very little, I'm very tall, but I'm a white blonde girl. So there's not a lot of like, I see myself everywhere. Like, magazines look like me. Everywhere looks like me. And so I get it. I really do. But I think it's important that people are respected for their differences, and I would like to be respected for mine. And so I make sure that my students are respected for theirs, basically. So I've got lots of inclusivity posters, I would say. And so I wore this on Wear It Purple as its first debut on Wear It Purple Day. Most of my students actually know that I am not straight. Not that I try and publicize it, I just don't try and hide it. And so, yeah, we had really good discussions, and I just feel really blessed that the youth of 2022 are not complete homophobes. So yes, this is its first outing, and oh my goodness, I have gotten so many compliments on that day. And then again, I wore it last week, or this week. It's Saturday today, so I consider last week because it's like the week is done. Again, I got so many compliments on it, and I just really want to publicly thank you, Hannah, who is Tranquillopa on Instagram, for such a generous gift. And for surprising me, for knowing me in some ways better than I knew myself, because you knew that this color would look amazing and I didn't believe you, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. So thank you so much. So this is the sweater, the first finished object, and I love it. I have one more finished object. I know, it's me. What? Normally I don't have anything finished. So this is my second sweater. This is the Seafield. And this is a brand new design that has just been released. So get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. This is the Seafield by Jennifer Shields Toland Knitwear Designs, JSTKnitwear Designs, I believe. And she's amazing. She's so lovely. So again, you would have seen this on my Instagram because I couldn't hide it. It was so beautiful. This is knit with the DK. Okay, I've got them. I have been trying, okay, side note, I've been trying to record this for like 3 days. And so I just have yarn in like a couple of different bags just floating. And then last night I went out, but I didn't actually clean them. So I slept with all of the yarn. Like it was just in my bed and I was like, yeah, I'm so happy with that. So yes, there's just been lots of yarn moving around. Oh, there's the mouse on my computer. That really helps. Okay, so I have knit this with, there should be another, oh, here we go. This is Ash and Eve Designs. Ash, so Susan is, I keep saying Ash, but her name is Susan. Susan is beautiful. I met her in person when I was in Brisbane and I'm so grateful because she's such a lovely, lovely human. Susan she started off as a botanical dyer and I really believe that you can see that in her dyes. There's something about them that feels so earthy and natural to me and I love it. So this is in the colorway An Autumn Clay and it is DK, it's luxury DK. It's 8 ply for those of you in Australia. And it is 100% superwash merino, 225 meters per 100 grams. And then this one I've lost the skein for, but this is her merino silk. Sorry, I keep saying that. Mohair silk in the same colorway. This is An Autumn Clay. I firmly believe that this is gold. So while it is meant to be an autumn clay, I just call it gold because it is stunning. I think I've got a little bit more of this as well. So this is all the mohair I have left and I love it. So I cast on, okay, what I actually did. I cast on straight away. I did not do a gauge swatch because why would I? So I cast on, do I have my gauge swatch in here? Yeah, I do have more yarn. There we go. Sneak previews flying at you. I should. Here we go. So, I cast on straight away from here and I started going because I was too excited. And then I think I did all 5 of the repeats, these beautiful wheat stitch, like textured panels. I did all 5 of them and then was thinking, so in the Slack channel with our tester group, we were talking about potentially having, Jen, the designer, was talking about potentially having a cropped version. And I really like the idea of a cropped one. If you look at her actual pattern, after the 5 repeats, there's like a whole stockinette section. And I personally didn't want that. So I was thinking either I'll do the full, but I'll keep doing the repeats, or I'll just crop it. So thankfully, she is a lovely designer who lets me do my own thing, which I'm very grateful for. And she said, yes, you can absolutely crop it. She gave me some advice on how to do it. So I did like an inch of ribbing and then the Italian sewn bind off. In the pattern, she actually does a YouTube tutorial on how to do the Italian sewn bind off, and that has been living in my tabs, of which I am very grateful because it really helped. After I did the body and then I bound off and then I did one sleeve and I think I got up to, there's a mohair, you can tell I've worn it now. I think I got up to maybe the 4th. So 1, 2 is up with the sleeve, with the body, and then 3, 4. So I got up to here. And then I decided to block it. I had done a gauge swatch, but because I was too excited to just cast on, this is the tiny, tiny gauge swatch that I should have actually done much bigger. I measured it, I looked at how much it blocked and how much it grew. Because the DK is superwash merino, I have heard of it growing and I just didn't know what to do. So I wanted to make sure that I was knitting to the correct size that I'd be happy with. So I did a gauge swatch. Wasn't happy with the gauge swatch. So blocked the actual sweater. And then loved it. I loved it so much. So I finished the sleeve. I ended up adding an extra 2 repeats on the sleeve. So there's 1 and 2. And then in the final round, because there's the stockinette between each one, in the final round, I just did a really rapid decrease where I just made up numbers and started decreasing by that. And then I did, 2.5 of inches of ribbing, and then the Italian sewn bind off. Switched over. Before I did the second sleeve, I started doing the neckband because I wanted to see how it would fit on my body. Again, totally fit before it blocked with the neck. Then I did the second sleeve. Then I blocked it, and it slightly changed a little bit, but I'm not unhappy with it. I really love it. So this is my journey of the Seafield sweater. I love it. I wear it a lot. Again, I get so many compliments, and bless their cotton socks, because I work with children. So yes, they're teenagers and they think they're all that. Sorry guys, you're not. They're actually children, and they just come up to me like, can I touch you? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I just get all these like really cool like year 9s just coming up like, I just think it's so cute. So yeah, so I've got all these beautiful children just like stroking my fabrics. And they just, I get so many compliments. I get so many of my kids being like, oh, miss, did you make that? Now if I wear a like shop bought or ready to wear knitted item, sometimes they're like, oh, did you make that? Or other times they're like, nah, like your one that you wore last week was better. I'm like, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So I have such amazing champions in my life, both on Instagram like Hannah and in real life like my children. So this is the Seafield sweater, and I love it. If it keeps getting windy, I might have to put it on because it is getting a little bit cooler. I will tell you about what I'm working on in a second, but before I forget, this, because I've got so much left of it, I think this is 30... This is 36 out of 100 grams, and this is 33 out of 50. Because I've got so much of it, what I've decided to do is do another project with it. So I had a bad day the other day at work, and it wasn't great, and I might have cried in front of my year 8s, which I do feel a little bit embarrassed about, but that's okay. And so I decided to go online shopping, and I bought a lot. Whoops. So I did buy quite a bit, and one thing I did is I reached out to Susan, and in her it's her Autumn Classics collection, which is what this is from. I looked at her website, and I saw another 2 colors that I thought would go with this beautifully. I segue into this segue of the segue before that. I wore this out to my friend's son's music concert, and it was a beautiful concert. Oh my goodness, I loved it. It was very validating for me as a high school music nerd to listen to other high school music nerds and see that everyone is as talented and as lazy in practicing as I remember being. And it was very nice. So I was wearing this. I shed all over the chair behind me. It was very easy to see where I was. I was knitting on a beanie, which I'll show you in a minute. And before me, in front of me, was this lady, and she was wearing this beautiful wrap. And it had sections of color work, but then in the middle of the 2, it was like stripes, and it was one color stripes. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, how could I get that effect? I haven't been working on it, so I don't have it to show you right now, but I have a brioche cowl that I've been working on, and the brioche technique of doing one color at a time, and especially if it's flat, where you don't turn the work, you slide it back to the other side. I think I would like to experiment that with color work. So I ordered, I'm not going to tell you the colors because I want them to be a surprise, but I ordered the most beautiful colors to match this. And I ordered 2 skeins, so 2 different colors. So there's 3 altogether. Because I've got enough mohair of this one, and the lady's wrap in front of me had mohair in it, so it was like fluffy. I had instantly had a great idea. I don't know if the colors are going to work perfectly together, but I think they will. So again, I don't want to say anything too much. But I reached out to Susan, and I'm so blessed. She has a dyed to order quantity on her website. And I'm very aware, because I've got a couple of friends who are dyers, I'm very aware that it is not easy to do a brand new dye lot, or to dye, you know, whatever. Like it's cost effective, it's economical, it's easier on the hands, everything, to do a bunch of them in a bunch of skeins in one lot. And I reached out to her and I was like, look, you've got these two in the DK ready to buy. I would love them in the mohair as well, but I only want one skein of each. Is that possible? If not, don't stress. Just send me the bare mohair and I'll just have this one as the coloured mohair and it would just like blend in. And she, bless her cotton socks, was like, absolutely, add it in, put it in the order, I'll do it for you right away. And I'm just like, thank you so much. So I'm very honoured that I have beautiful people around me that are willing to go out of their way for me. And I did tell her it was I did tell her it was going to be a design, but it can wait. I've got so many other things to do before that, but I'm just so grateful. Oh, sorry. My cat just tried to go chase a bird, which is I'm sure what you just heard. And the bird was not happy, and then he got scared and ran away. So now he's frightened in the corner, which is amazing. Such good quality catting. Okay. What I'm working on, the main thing I'm really working on at the moment, and this is what I'm gonna say I'd love to finish. I probably won't, but I would love to finish it. Is my Aelin cardigan. So I had a big shawl collar. I'll probably work on this as I'm talking to you in a bit. I had a big shawl collar on this, and then I did short rows, and it just changed the color pattern, and it was really obvious, and I did not like it. So I reached out on Instagram. I was like, what do you recommend? And everyone was like, no, the shawl collar is amazing. You need it. And I was like, okay, fair. Because you're right. I do. So I undid it. I measured with my little scales, which I can't change to grams. So I'm now measuring in like ounces. It's the weirdest thing. No, I'm not. I'm measuring in milliliters. That's what I'm measuring in. So I'm hoping that my grams to milliliters ratio is correct, because that's the best I've got. I measured how much of this took of like the I-cord, and because I finished it with an I-cord, and the German short rows that I'd done. And it was about 20 milliliters or 20 grams. So I have got this much of 100 grams ball, which is 100 grams, that I've also started putting on here, and I've done as an I-cord edging on the front panel of the cardigan. It's not going to be closed, it's just going to be open front. And I am going to knit until I have about 20 grams left. I think it was like 15, so I've said 20 just in case. So I'm going to knit until I've got 20 grams left, and then I'm just going to start doing the short rows and shaping it, and then the I-cord to round it out. So that way the color projection doesn't get disrupted, because I really hated that look. So this is my Aelin sweater. I'm loving it. It is beautiful. So this is what I'm working on currently. And yeah, it's making me very happy. I would love to say that I'm going to get this finished, because, oh my God, I really want to. But I can't promise anything. I do have a hen's night tonight, so it's my cousin. Actually, it's my cousin's fiance, but they've been together for so long. She's just my cousin. Like, it doesn't matter. And I don't really know many people there except for another one of like the cousins. And I get scared when I don't know people. So I am going to probably bring some knitting, at least with me. Even if I don't actively work on it, I will have some knitting with me that if I need to, I can just kind of touch and squish and make myself feel better. So Who knows? It might be a big one. It might be one of the next ones I'm going to show you, but I don't know. Then tomorrow I might go out with my best friend, and then it's Father's Day, and then I've got another thing with some other friends. So I don't think I've got a lot of knitting time, but I would like to have this done as soon as possible. So this is kind of like my big focus at the moment of what I'm working on. So that's my weekend plans and knitting plans. These are just warm. I'm going to leave them on my lap. Very nice. Mac, leave the bird. There's like a whole family of them there. Wow, that's cool. Okay. What else I'm working on is in this thread and maple bag that I got off Louis and Lola. I've been taking this as a little clutch with me in different places as well, and it pairs so nicely with a Seafield. So I've been doing that a lot, which I love. I have a design in mind for... There we go. I have a design in mind for this. This is currently a nothing, but will become a beanie. It is a little bit, honestly, it's a little bit big. I tried to count numbers for it and then cast on so that I wouldn't have to increase too much. Don't really know why I did that because it doesn't really make sense. So I'm going to see what the cast on actually is when I write it up. But it's so squishy and it's so delightful. So I'm going to knit this until it's about 4 inches. I've almost got there. I think it's like 3.75 or something. 7/16 of an inch or whatever the Americans do. I'm sorry, guys. I'm Australian. I use metric. It makes more sense to me. So I've got this so far, and then I'm going to start a cabling detail on it. I'm calling it the... Shush. You're taking my spotlight, mate. Anyway. Sorry for the noise. It was nicer to do it out here, but I don't know. Oh my goodness. So this is the Juniper beanie. Because the colorway is Juniper, this is a set of mohair, which apparently I'm a thing with, and just normal sock weight yarn. What I love tubular cast-ons for beanies. I love them. I think they look so finished and professional and just beautiful. So I did my normal tubular cast-on, but with just the first strand of the sock yarn. And then when I started combining, I think it was the next round that I added in the mohair. So if you can see, I don't know if I don't even know if you can see, but that first round or first few rounds is just, you can barely see because the mohair just kind of spreads. But yeah, so it's just sock yarn. So it's got a slightly different texture on the edge, but it doesn't matter at all. So this is almost at the point where I can actually start doing the design bit of the cables, which I'm excited for. I haven't done a lot with cables lately. So it'll be fun. And then I am doing up this beanie as well for a friend. This is in, I have it somewhere. Here we go. This is in the Salt River Mills Simply Suri in the colorway Blue Spruce. And this is 85% Suri, 15% wool, 75 grams, 250 yards. So this is an OG knit crate purchase. Very OG. So I think it'll take probably the better half of 1.5 skeins to do this because it is all in ribbing. But this is going to be my Nats beanie. And it's going to be for a male size. I'm thinking of rewriting it to include the tubular cast on because I do love it, and using this to photograph a bit nicer because Nat's beanie was written when I was a baby brand new designer and I didn't quite understand some things. So I'm trying to update and change. Yes, this is Nat's beanie that will be happening. I've got like a pile of stuff around me now. So this is, yeah, I'm just working on this. This one's mostly, actually both of these are mostly at school. I take it in turns which one I work on. On Thursday when I had a really bad day, I literally just sat there just knitting on it for a good hour because I was just like, no, don't talk to me. My computer was dying. I was just like, no. I was in dot, by the way. I wasn't teaching. This is when I had my own free time, not when I was in a class. I'm very upset that I can't knit in class. I actually would love to. It would be so nice. This cat and those birds, man. All right. So, ooh, this is like the sparkling raspberry water. I love it. I always get the raspberry or the lemon, and it just tingles. So this is mostly what I'm working on. I have a few small cast-ons that aren't really cast-ons yet, but I will show you them anyway, just so you kind of, for posterity, so you know when they arrived. I've got some cool plans. So the first one is, I don't know if you saw on my Instagram. Okay, so for context, I'd actually recorded this a week and a bit ago when I finished off both jumpers. And I was really proud of myself. And I was like, wow, Astrid, look at you. You're totally on task. I deleted all footage and I don't know where it went. I can't get it back. I can see the file. I can see the time. It was a 50-minute episode. Can I find it? Can I gain access to it? Not even close. So here we go again. So this is why everything appeared on Instagram. Normally I try and put it up at the same time, but everything is on Instagram first because I messed up. Anyway, this is in a beautiful order from Colorways Collective. This is my friend Patricia, who is Serial Sewist on Instagram and YouTube. She has a beautiful business where she gets Australian dyers and they dye up something exclusively for her shop. And I've spoken before about my lovely friend Nick and the fact that she's getting married soon, or was getting married soon and now it's been postponed, but whatever. And also I'm actually leaving. I'm going to be going to Europe next year. And so she was planning on getting married around October-ish next year, and I would be away and flights are expensive. So I was like, well, I probably won't be able to come back. Can I make you something so that you wear it on your special day? And she was like, absolutely. So we were tossing up between what to do, and I wanted to make her someone else's pattern so I knew it would fit her. And we chose Darren by Jacqueline C. Slack, which is stunning. So I have been looking out for a beautiful soft pink kind of color. So this is Settle Petal by Three Cats Yarn, who is my friend Mel. And she also has YouTube, so again, link her up here. So this is Settle Petal. This is in her fingering weight superb sock. So it is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 425 meters per 100 grams. And then this one is her Suri silk lace. So this is 2-ply lace, 300 meters ish per 50 grams, 74% Suri alpaca, 26% mulberry silk. And I really like hand winding my yarns at the moment. So I've got a Swift and then, excuse me, I have a Swift and then I just wind it by hand. So they look like these, and I'm loving how they turn out. So this is going to be one of my next cast-ons. I need to free up needle space. So I need these 2 beanies to get off the needles so that I can cast on, because I just don't have any spare needles left. I've got things everywhere. And so, yeah, so I'm going to cast this on and do a gauge swatch, a real gauge swatch, see how it turns out. I am so excited for this alpaca. And I just think it is stunning. So I'm pretty sure I ordered exactly enough. So I might need to unwind the gauge swatch later, which I will be sad about because honestly, I would like to use it for me, for my something with me. But yeah, so I have a full sweaters quantity of both of these and I'm so excited. So that is one, I always bump you. That is one about to be cast on. The next thing that I did cast on, and this is a bit of an older thing that I've had. So when I discovered Chloe of Wool and Works, oh my goodness, if you don't know Chloe, she's amazing. She is an incredible dyer on Instagram and we are becoming friends and it's just so cool. She would just be like, do you want to Zoom? And I'm like, yes. And then we Zoom and then my mum listens to us and she's just like, oh, Chloe's so lovely. And I'm like, I know. So, Instagram friends becoming real friends. I get so excited by it. So this This is Chloe of Wool and Works. Also, whenever I watch like other Australian podcasters, every now and again, like I was watching Linda from Wool Make This Work, and she was showing this beautiful cardigan that she knit with fairy bread in the mohair, and I was like, oh, that's my friend! That's my friend! So I just got so excited. Anyway, this is Wool and Works. This is in her fingering slub, so it is 90% superwash, merino, 10% nylon, 100 grams, 400 meters, 4-ply. And this one is in her lace. It is 72% mohair, 28% silk, 50 grams, 420 meters, 2-ply. They are both in the colorway eucalyptus. Now, when I saw these, I was like, yes, I need anything Australian botanical I love. So I got them, and then I was thinking about what to do with them. And I really, really love the idea of them as a garter. So this is my gauge swatch. Yes, it is bad. I understand. I do get this. So I'm trying to get better at figuring out what needle size I use because I'm not very good at that. So I'm doing the typical podcast thing of 1, 2, 3, 4 holes at the bottom to say it's a 4, and then one on top to say it's 0.5. So it's a 4.5 millimeter needle. This is, for me, perfect gauge. It is soft. It is squishy. It is not see-through. Yeah, I can't see you. It's not see-through, and it's slubby, and it's soft, and it's just beautiful. I really, really, really am inspired at the moment by side-to-side garter construction, and I would love to make this into some sort of side-to-side top. Now, I've only got 3 in total, and so that is 1,200 meters. So it's not really enough for a jumper. I will, don't know if it's a good picture. If it's a good picture, I'll put it up. If not, you won't see it. But my beautiful sister has a lovely jumper that is ready to wear, but it is knit like side to side. So it's like one sleeve all the way across to the other side. And I just think it's beautiful. And I really would love to try and reconstruct something, but I'm thinking if I can do it, I would do it more as literally a vest, with sleeve increases and then a slight neckline and then back to here, and then you'd pick up along the sleeve and do just a normal sleeve. Yeah. And then I don't know if I would do that in just the mohair because I think that would be really cool. So I have no idea, but that's kind of what's floating around in my brain. I have so many other things to do as well. I am a designer. I am a knitwear designer. You can find my things on Ravelry, on Lovecrafts, but I haven't really been designing in a while. And I think part of it, I have for a very long time been go, just flat out. And I think it became such a normal way of life that I just forgot that this wasn't normal. And so all of a sudden this year, things have just fallen perfectly into place. I have some of the most incredible classes at work, and it means that I'm not walking in battling teenagers. I mean, okay, I heard this joke, and it was like, we want you to teach math, and it's like, do they want to learn math? It's like, no, they do not. You have to teach it to them against their will. It's like, well, who is it? It's just anyone who lives near the building. And it's so true. Like, I am forcing knowledge on these kids, and they're like, oh, you don't care. We don't want this. We don't like it, whatever. And I have to force it onto them and make them want it and then pass tests. So it's hard. And so I am just so lucky that I'm walking in. Thank you, Plane. Thank you. I am so lucky that if you can hear me, that I'm walking into my beautiful class, and I'm not battling. Like, they know me, they know my expectations. I'm so lucky. I've got some beautiful friends at work and so many amazing friends outside of work that I don't feel like I'm, sometimes making friends as an adult is really hard. It's really hard. And I've really struggled with that for a long time. And I am actually an introvert. I'm loud, I'm crazy, I'm very full on, but I'm actually introverted. And I think I've had to realize a lot of core truths about myself that I do actually need my own space and all of that kind of stuff. And so there's just been a lot of growth happening this year. And I feel like I'm in a place where I'm just really happy and I'm doing really well. I'm exhausted. I'm napping like all the time. So many naps, but it's been really good. So I'm in this awesome place. And I think my brain needed to slow down a minute and just not be frantically trying to do everything. So I haven't been designing in a little bit. I've still been creative and I still have been knitting things that I've designed. But like, for example, this Aelin cardigan, this is from 2020 Advent. So I've been knitting this for a year and a half now, just over. And it is all my design, but it's something that now the design work is finished and it's just the doing of it that is easy. And I'm finding that really relaxing where I can just pick something up and just follow it. So yeah, I've just been finding that lately. I want to follow other people's patterns, or I don't want to have to do the thinking bit. But luckily I'm turning a corner where I'm getting back into the thinking and I'm coming up with so many more designs again, just like this one. So that was a bit of a side rant, but it works. Yes, so on the topic of wanting to knit someone else's patterns though, so one other thing that I got, actually a few other things. One other thing that I got from the Colorways Collective is this one skein of Lovely Little Yarns. It's their birthday, by the way. So Lovely Little Yarns, again, go check them out on Instagram. They are such talented dyes. It's a mother and daughter duo, and they're just beautiful. I've actually met them like on Zoom, and they're so lovely. This is their sock base, 100 grams at 400 meters. It is 75% merino, 25% nylon in the colorway Laurel. And it is beautiful. I'm such a green fan. This is stunning. So it's their birthday. Go check them out. I got that, and then I got three skeins of this one. This is Knit or Die Oz, and this is in her colorway Blue Whale. So I'd actually, I bought Knit or Die Oz's advent calendar last year, and she was living in Western Australia, which is near me. Well, I'm in Western Australia. She was living a couple of hours from me. And she's now moved up to Brisbane on Bribie Island, but she was a marine biologist, I believe. And so she's very inspired by nature and animals, and you can really see that in her work. There we go. Hang on, over my eyes so I can actually see. This is the most beautiful skein. You can see these light and darker bits that come through, and I just adore it. Whales and wombats are my two favorite animals. So when I saw it was whale, I was like, yes, I want it. I don't know what I'm going to knit with a navy, but I want it. And then I got it, and it was this beautiful variegated. And so I don't know what to knit with it, was the idea. And I somewhere. So I wound it up, and I was thinking to myself, I don't know what to do, but I have an idea. So this book, I'm going to be doing a series very soon on book reviews, and where I look through books and I basically figure out if I like them or not and why I like them or not. I'm going to grade them because I'm a nerd. And so this is Knit Like a Latvian by Eva Ozolina, my apologies. And so Ozol means acorn, so it's very fitting. I bought this a while ago, and I really loved it, and I was trying to figure out what on earth to make. And so this is from Latvia. This is a Latvian designer, and then they own Hobby Wool, which is this sign, I don't know what you call it. And I went there when I was in Latvia in 2018, and I found 4 skeins of this, and this is Suri alpaca in a lace weight. It was €2.50, so like €2.50. I don't know what the actual word is, but yeah, I've got mohair. There we go. And it's 360 meters over 25 grams. So I bought 4 of these because, oh my God, my dad did not understand. My beautiful family, they're not knitters. My grandparents are, and like above that, but my immediate sisters and dad, they're like, what? And so when I like nearly cried because I got 4 of these, they were like, you're really sad. Like there was no understanding. They were just like, you're pathetic. I was like, yeah, but this is 100 grams for $20 Australian. You don't get this. And they're just like, nah, that's weird. So I was thinking, these, knocking things over, these two together would be beautiful. And that grey would really come up. So I wound it into a little ball. Where's my little ball? Hello. I wound it into a little ball, and I made sure to have a bit of it on the inside to have a center pull ball as well, just so I could double it. But then, sorry. So I wound it to a center pull ball so I could double it just in case. But then as I wound up this one, I realized this is actually quite a thick fingering weight. So this is fingering sock yarn, 80% non-superwash merino, 20% nylon. It is 360 meters per 100 grams. And as I wound this up, I realized it's quite a thick fingering weight. And so I started worrying about how much of this is going to chew through if I paired them up. That's mohair. I started wondering about how much of this is going to chew up if I paired them together, because I would have to pair this like 3 or 4 times to be able to fit this thickness. And then I was thinking, well, what am I even going to knit with it? I don't know. I just had to wound it up. One small note of her yarns, and I've found this in her yarns before, every now and again there is still some organic matter in the yarns. I don't have a personal issue with it, but it just is something to pick up, just as a side note. So I was thinking, well, what am I going to do? And then I remembered I had this book, and I was like, well, I really want to knit Latvian mittens. And something that's going to be like these two together would be beautiful. And so I found my favorite one, which is these, the Morning Star mittens. And oh my goodness, they're so pretty. Oh. I don't know what color pattern to do it in. And this is where I'm going to be like, help me, please. I don't know. But I was like, well, I don't want it to just be this grey, because I think this grey is going to be a bit muted and I really want it to be popping. So then I found this skein of undyed, I've got 2 of these, just undyed merino. And these were a gift from Anna of Stitchcraft and Wizardry. And so when I started winding this one up, I realized that this is actually perfect. If I put these 2 together, it pretty much equals this. So, because this is an extra thick fingering, this is a light fingering, and this is a lace. So yeah, together they work. I don't know if this makes sense. I hope it does. So I'm going to pair these 3 together. And I was just super inspired, and I had to figure out exactly what was going to happen pretty much immediately. So I cast on just like the wristers. There's like a little section where you can do like a wristlet or like it's a fingerless mitt, but I just did it as a wrister, just to see how it would work. And oh my goodness, it is perfect. There is no difference really between the bare yarn with the suri compared to the dark yarn. The color variegations, they don't really show up. So it doesn't flatten. That's not the point of it. But it just kind of works. It just comes in really nicely together. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. Another thing that I noticed while winding this one is this is actually not very soft. It's quite firm, I would say. It's delicate and fragile and absolutely will break if you pull it too hard. But it's just not super firm. Super soft. So it's not really like a silk suri. It's definitely just suri. And I really like that hard wearing aspect, especially for mittens. So, these are going to be my Morningstar mittens, and I will be knitting them on, oh God, what was the size needle? Something stupidly small. Like 2.25 or something. For those of you who are new here, I detest anything on tiny needles. Like 3.5 for me is small, is really small, really small. And I hate knitting socks for so many reasons. So I am a little concerned that this is going to turn me off knitting really fine yarn, and that I'm going to get like second mitten syndrome, which I'm assuming is the same as second sock, but for mittens. However, they look so beautiful. They are so stunning. And this honestly took me a night. And I really don't knit very fast. So this was so exciting to have it done so quickly. It did take a while to block. I'll show you the floats as well, because people always like seeing floats. I just think they look really even. That blocking really helped because they were not this nice before. So yeah, I'm such a fan, and I do think that this will be good, but I am nervous. So I'm hoping to have something maybe more like this one to do at the same time, so that way I can do tiny, tiny needles, and then when I get tired, I can do 4.5s and just go. So that is what I'm thinking. Two things that are, well, one is wound up and about to cast on. For those of you who don't know, Laura Penrose of Penrose Knits of the Knitting Pickle podcast has released her chunky souffle, and I love it. I think I spoke about this before, where I was trying to find colors and I was trying to figure out what to do, and I decided on a Christmas one. These are again hand wound, but with a center pull. And I put the little tag inside it so that I can push it up, and inside the tag is the other end. So I thought that would be really easy for me. I'm just kind of like learning new ways of how to wind yarn. It's very fun. Yeah, so this is going to be the main color. This is going to be the cuffs and like the sleeve cuffs, the neckband, and the ruffle. In addition, I don't know if I've got enough of this left. And I'm wondering to stretch it if I do something color work in this at the very bottom. I have a feeling I'm not going to. I have a feeling I actually will have enough, but I'm going to put it out there as like a floating idea. I don't want it to distract too much, and I feel like it'll be too busy if I did, which is what's holding me off, aside from the fact that I think I might have enough yarn. But basically, if it ends up slightly cropped, I think I'll be okay. I am also going to place the ruffle a bit higher because this is going to have a lot of drape. And so I don't want it to pull down because the ruffle is a bit heavy. I don't want it to pull it down. So this is going to be slightly cropped. The ruffle's going to be slightly higher. Like all of that, all the modifications I will make and I will tell you about as I do. So if it's a cropped sweater, I think I'll be fine. But if it's like cropped sweater, I don't think I'll be fine. And that's where this one might come into play. Hello. Yeah, so I'm going to cast this on very soon. I need to figure out where the hell my size needles are for it. And then it'll be off and away. So very excited. The last skeins, if you look in front of me, there is just yarn exploding. My last one, which is not yet, let's start packing away while I tell you, because otherwise I'm just so scared that like the pile is going to bloop and it's going to go and disappear. So I have not, I can't yet cast it on. I actually don't have enough yet to cast it on, and I don't have the pattern yet to cast it on. So last year there was the Stephen West MCAL, and I'm in a group chat on Instagram with some of the most amazing women, and they are all Australian podcasters. And so every time we find a new podcaster, we invite them to the group and we're like, hey, come hang out. And then we just share and uplift each other, and it's beautiful. So I just love our community. And I am in this group with the Australian podcasters, and we do Zoom chats and not really knit-alongs, but like just like knit catch-ups on Zoom. And I, last year, had such extreme FOMO because they all did the Stephen West knit along. They did shawlography, and I didn't. And I was like, no, I don't like MCALs. I don't know what they're gonna look like. And then I did everyone else doing it, and honestly, it's more the community of it that I was really like, I love that. I just want that. So yeah, this year I'm doing it. So these are my colors. Now, if you don't know about the MCAL, basically every year Stephen West designs a shawl, and he releases it, and you buy the shawl, you buy the pattern on Ravelry, and then he updates I'm trying to like hide these under the table so I can't spoil the surprise. He updates every week, and it's always a bit of a challenge. No one ever really finishes it on time, to be honest. It's more of like a think that's part of the community thing of like, oh, I'm not done. But I'm really excited. So when I was in Brisbane, I found a couple of yarns that I absolutely loved. The first one, this is in the yarn bowl, and this is Knit or Die Oz in her Peaches and Cream Grevillea. So this is fingering sock yarn, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 100 grams, about 390 meters, so about 400 meters. And I just love it. I think it is so beautiful. When I was at the shop, I also found this one. And this is West Green Loft Yarns in the WGLY, Wiggly, Cashmere Sock, colorway Emma. It's 350 meters over 100 grams. And I still can't figure out, I don't think she's Australian, but West Green Loft Yarns. So these are not the same. They're not the same, but I thought they would go together really nicely. I really, really, really wanted this shawl to be mostly out of stash. Yeah. So I thought these two would pair so well together. I just think they are stunning. So this is going to be my main color. So you need 2 skeins of fingering weight for the main color. So I've got these two. Then you need 2 skeins of fingering weight for the contrast color. And when I first bought these, I knew they were going to be for shawlography. I already knew it. And this is why I had this in this particular setup collection, because I knew this was going to be the theme. So I have now ordered a second skein of this one. It is called Safi by Down Under Dyer, or who is Three Cats Yarn now. So this is before she changed her name. And this is about 334 meters per 100 grams. It's very specific. It is 80% Australian superwash merino, 20% nylon. It's her everyday sock base. It's 100 grams. And in the colorway Safi. This is coming across really mustard yellow. It's not. It's much more of a cool yellow. I don't know where the best color. It's not helping. But yeah, it's more of it's got a green undertone, not an orange undertone. So this isn't quite the best picture of it. I apologize. Then, sorry, we need 2 of these. I've ordered 2. I don't particularly care that they're not going to be the same dye lot, because Stephen West shawls tend to be in different sections anyway. So I'm pretty sure I can just fudge it. It'll be right. And then lastly, for the contrast, I am using, again, Mel of 3 Cats Yarn, or Down Under Dyer, her colorway Deep Olive. It is the same put up, so it's 80% Australian superwash merino, 20% nylon in her fingering weight sock base. And this is going to be the accent color. So this is going to be kind of like coming across as the accent. I am so in love with these colors. It feels very unlike me, because I don't feel like I'd normally go for these colors specifically, but it also feels very grown up, and I'm nearing 30, so I feel like I should get grown up at some point in my life, because I'm not. So these are going to be, yeah, the most beautiful colors together. I'm so excited. So this is my plan for the MCAL that will be coming up. So this will be in October. The very last little thing to tell you about, is kind of a bit of a life update, but it's like the coolest life update ever. So, sorry, I would knit on this as I talk to you. So, the coolest life update ever. I've said before that I'm leaving next year, and I really would love to build, keep building the community of knitters. And one really hard bit about that is the fact that I'm leaving. So it's not like I can be like, oh, let's have a monthly knit along, because I'm leaving. And it feels very silly to me to start something that I'm not going to continue. I know there's always someone else who can take over and blah, blah, blah. But the more I procrastinate on it, the less time I have left. And by now, I've only got less than 7 months, maybe 6-ish, before I'm going to be going. And it just doesn't feel right to me to start something that I'm not going to see through. So, I instead decided to do an impromptu knitting meetup. And so instead of it being like a regular thing, it's just going to be maybe 1 or 2 before I go, where we can actually do something properly. So I put out on Facebook that I was thinking of doing like a Perth, because I'm in Perth, Western Australia, of doing a Perth knitters meetup, and maybe in Kings Park, which is quite central. It's in the centre of the city. And then there's like good coffee there, and people could just come and they could, you know, do it. And yeah, and so people were kind of like, yeah, that'd be cool. Or people in other states were like, oh, like that would be awesome, but I'm in Melbourne, but I wish you well, kind of thing. And I was like, awesome. So there is interest. That's great. And again, my specific focus was very much for it to be a big event, not a regularly occurring event. So that was very much in my mind. And then I was thinking, let's do it on the last weekend of school holidays, because, you know, if it's at a big park, kids can run around. It's not excluding anyone. It's I try to make it central and open and free and all of that kind of stuff. So I said, what about the 8th and the 9th of October? And someone else commented and they said, hey, there's actually already a knitting event on that weekend. It's going to be at the Cannington Cannington Exhibition Centre, and there's like a craft show. So I have a vlog from before of when I actually went to this craft show, and I met some of the most like beautiful WA makers, and had such a lovely time with them. And yeah, I had such a great experience, and I was like, oh my goodness, that is perfect. So the lady who runs the Perth Craft and Sewing Extravaganza, which is the craft show, she was talking to me on Facebook, and I just thought, you know what, let's be smart. Let's just email her. Let's be professional, and let's see what we can do. So I emailed her and I was like, hi, I'm Astrid. I don't know if you remember me, but this is me. And I would love to organize something properly. And I said, I would love to book, like properly pay for a stall. I would like it to be outside, so it's more like a picnic knitting event. And so I keep saying knitting because I knit. Crafting event. So everyone, if you're in Perth, everyone is welcome. Craft is really what I'm talking about, not just knitting. So I was thinking, yeah, I'll pay for an actual stall, but it'll be outside, so that way I know the space is ready. And yeah, we'll just have, you know, people can bring a chair, bring food, and they can just chill. I am in the works at the moment of trying to find a couple of things to do as well, like bringing in like chairs and stuff. And I would love to do like a big tussle just thing, and just like have it. I think that'd be really fun. And I've got ideas of how to make it totally involving school children. So that'd be fun. So yes, I'm really excited about this, and I think it'll be awesome. And she turned around, her name is Fleur. She turned around and she was like, no, like, don't pay me, don't do it. I think this is a brilliant idea. I think it's going to get more people into the community. I think this is amazing. Let's just run it. And I was like, what? Seriously? Like you don't want me to pay you for your time and effort? Because in my opinion, this is very much me like barnacling onto someone else's great idea and going, oh, do it then too. And she was like, no, of course, like come along. This would be amazing. And I was like, wow. So then I was thinking, so when I was originally thinking of the like picnic in the park, I was thinking of doing like a yarn swap, and because I love yarn swaps, I just find this so fun. And I was really thinking about what to do. And then because it's a craft fair, I don't feel right about having a craft swap. I think that's inappropriate because it's going to detract from the sales that should be taking place. And also I'm going to go shopping, so I don't want to be swapping my own brand new stuff. So I was really thinking about this, and I was like, okay, so what am I going to do? And then I'm very passionate about promoting local businesses, promoting the amazing things that we have to offer here. And so I was like, well, what if I reached out to local makers and I promoted their stuff? So I reached out to a few people, and I really want to make this very clear. I do not have any expectations that I get anything for free. I really don't. No, that's not what I believe in. And if my idea is to support businesses, then why would I expect it to be for free? Like that doesn't work for me. So I reached out to a couple of different people, and I said to them, hey, like, I'm putting together basically a raffle of yarn or local makers. And I would love it if I could promote your work. So is there any like top sellers or best sellers that you've got that have got your branding all over them, because I want to be promoting you, that have got your branding everywhere, that I could put in this raffle and that we can recommend to people? And so many people, I'm so touched. So many people turned around and were like, what's your address? I'm giving it to you now. And I'm like, what? Like, I'll like PayPal invoice me, whatever it is, like email invoice. How much is it? And they're like, no. Like, no, this is, I'm actually like really emotional because this is such an important thing for me. And it does feel a little bit like a last hurrah, because I am going to be moving and I just don't know where I'm going and all of that. I'm so sorry for getting emotional on here. I'm obviously in a very crying mode lately. But yeah, I really want to support, like, this is my community, this is my people, this is where I've grown up. Like, this is my life for the last 28, almost 29 years. My birthday is in less than a month. 29 years of my life has been here, and I'm leaving, and that's a very scary thought. And so I really want it to be something that I promote and share and support and start and encourage. And the fact that they're turning around and going, no, we believe in this, we believe in you, thank you so much for organizing it. So, I should say not everyone knows me as well, and not everyone is willing to donate, because they are also businesses who need to make money because they're a business. So absolutely, I am definitely buying their stuff. There was one other person who was recommended to me. So I don't want to name names of who is donating and who I'm purchasing from, because I don't want there to be any bias for one or against the other. So I'm just trying to be really careful. I will, of course, say everyone who's involved, and I'm still in communication with people to see who else wants to get involved. But yeah, I don't want to say who is donating or not, because I feel like that is unfair. That's not really where I'm at. Anyway, so one person who has recommended, who was recommended to me from a Western Australian person, I looked at their website and I was like, okay, so not only can you please put some skeins aside for me to buy for the raffle, but these two for me, please, because they're so pretty. So I'm loving this opportunity for me to learn more about awesome Perth people that I don't necessarily know about, because then I get to shop. So this is definitely suiting me and suiting my purposes very well. But yeah, so if you are a Perth maker, if you know of small local Perth businesses who make beautiful things that crafty people would appreciate. So knitters, dyers, what is happening to my earring right now? Knitters, dyers, crocheters, even one of the people that I reached out to, she is thinking of setting up an advent of stitch markers. And she and I actually spoke about this like a while ago. And so I reached out again. I was like, hey, are you doing this still? And they were like, yep. And I was like, amazing. Can I please have some to showcase and like pre-order? And she was like, yes. So like, just, it doesn't have to be wool. It doesn't have to be yarn. It doesn't have to be anything. I'm even thinking of, I'm going to try and reach out to some people who are like skincare people who, you know, for hand cream or, you know, sweet like soaps or smelling things or something. So I want this to go off. I'm so excited about it. I'm just thrilled, and I'm feeling so honored and so touched and so blessed that the Perth community is just so beautiful. So I am specifically looking for Perth people. I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm not specifically looking for Perth. I'm specifically looking for Western Australian people, because I do want my focus to be on Western Australia and the amazing things we have in our community, rather than it being like, I don't know. I think because it's a Perth event, I want it to be local or WA. So if you know anyone in WA, I've actually just thought of 2 more people as I'm speaking that I'm going to reach out to right after this and see if they would like to do anything, because I just think this community would be cool. Yes. So that's like the coolest life update that I've got, of just amazing people being kind and generous and believing in a vision that I am sharing with people. And it's very exciting. So I'm really hoping for this. I do have to say as well, all the proceeds are going to go, so all the money raised, I will reimburse for anything that I've paid for. That's that. But I, to put it out there as well, I am getting a lot of discounts as an offering for this. So, the value of the raffle isn't going back into my pocket, because I don't feel right about that either. And then all the profits that are made from it, are going to go to a charity. And I have for a while, through all my sales, stop rocking, goodness, wind. I'm so sorry, guys. Through all my sales on Ravelry, I have always donated to 2 different charities. So for any of my Latvian-based designs, I donate to a charity in Latvia. It's called Giving for Latvia. And it really works with underprivileged people in Latvia. And the other one that I will be donating to this time is called the Smith Family Foundation. Smith Family, yeah. And I actually work with them quite closely at my school. And they work a lot with children who are a bit more underprivileged, who struggle maybe to afford books or uniform or shoes or computers. And I believe so strongly in the work that they do. So while it is not a craft-related charity, it is going to, I firmly believe that education uplifts and that education benefits all people. And so I do believe that what I'm doing in increasing craft is benefiting the community, and that's what my whole focus is. So I want the charity to go to benefiting children that are going to grow up and benefit our community. So if you know of another charity maybe that you think would be more aligned to this, for example, putting crafts in schools, I would be very happy to consider it. But at the moment, that's kind of where I'm thinking. Yes. Okay, I think that's it. I think I've rambled enough. I've done another row on my beautiful Aelin Advent shawl, and it is getting cold, so I'm now going to go inside and snuggle up in one of my jumpers. Thank you so much for being with me, for watching me get vulnerable, as always. If you don't mind, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. It does help my video get out there, and liking and commenting also help, but don't feel obliged to. I am on Instagram at waddleand.wool. Feel free to come chat with me and just say hi. I'm very friendly. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful week, 2 weeks until I see you again. Hopefully